Hey y'all, Data Guy here with the Data Dog. And today we are here to do yet another viewer request video because I just love you guys so much and I appreciate you all getting me to over 1,000 subscribers. So hopefully this helps get me to 10K. So today what we're going to be going through is how you can use Airflow to submit PySpark jobs to a Spark cluster. I thought this is a useful use case because why not have Airflow manage, your Spark jobs for high analytics and then using the outcome of those, maybe those process data sets in some downstream reporting or whatever. So I wanted to show you exactly that. So I'll show you first how to create just a basic Spark connection, but then I also want to walk you through, hey, how can you use the outcome of that task to maybe trigger downstream operations as well? Because it's pretty easy to create a Spark connection. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to create a new repo, walk you through every step you need to start using Spark and Airflow together. So first thing we're going to do, as we do with all of our videos, or all of our explanation videos, we're going to go to desktop, data guy videos, and we're going to make directory Spark Airflow. We're going to cd into that, cd Spark Airflow, and then we are going to run Astro dev init. Then we will just open it within this window. So open. And I hope you guys like this new format. Please let me know if this is too much in the beginning of each video. I just started doing this because people were asking to see kind of the full process instead of just the DAG code. So after we have gotten our Spark connection set up, we will also need the Spark submit operator. So a lot of people can use, there's a lot of people that use hooks with Spark, but I prefer operators because then you can kind of reference the output easily and you don't have to just wrap everything in a Python function. There are some benefits to it, but just personally, I'm more of a fan of the provider route, but I know that's always the hottest debate in Airflow. So what we'll do here is we're going to go to our requirements. I'm going to copy the pip install command, so I don't have to write this all out, and we are just going to bring in provider, Apache Airflow providers, Apache Spark, and then what we'll do after that is go into start creating our DAG. So here, if we go over to our DAGs folder, we will just create a new file, Spark submit dag.py, and then we will bring in our packages. So here, very simple, just need to bring in our Spark submit operator, Airflow DAG, and date time. And then we will just instantiate a simple DAG. I'm not even going to bother using DAG decorators. It's one task. I'm going to be lazy. And then here, what we're going to do is create our Spark submit job. So what you're going to be doing with the submit job is basically saying, hey, submit job equals Spark submit operator, task ID, your application. And so this application is going to be your path to your Spark script. So what we're going to do is include this in our include directory. So include PySpark script.py, and then we will save this and then also create a PySpark script in our include directory. So here, call it PySpark underscore script dot py. And this will be a Spark compatible Python. Automatically gets converted when you pass it into the operator. It doesn't need to be any kind of special Python file. So here, what I did is just create a simple PySpark job where all you're doing is just taking in a CSV dataset from wherever your input path is. You can find that wherever. And we're creating a dataset, drop columns, and you'll see that you'll have our connection ID here. So here, reading the data set from whatever path you give it, so you'll need to code in input path, drop 2 columns. We're going to save that data set to an output path. And then down here, what you'll do is, path to your input, path to your output CSV, and then drop columns from data set, kind of defining it as a PySpark function here. So this is where you put whatever script you want to execute. I just wanted to generate an example, wanted to show you. And then you're also, within your Spark submit operator, you're going to need your Spark connection. So I'll go show you how to do that in the Airflow UI in a second. You're going to want to have however many cores you need, however much executor you want for your PySpark cluster, number, driver memory, running this locally, so keeping all of these pretty low. And verbose is just, hey, how verbose do you want the air logs to be? So there we have our Spark submit operator. As you can see, really simple to set up. But I wanted to show you a couple different ways that we could potentially extend this, because I want to show you, hey, why would you just use Airflow to submit a run? So what I want to do is also take this and say, hey, once this produces a data set, trigger another downstream job. And so here's just one way you can extend it. And obviously, choose your own path. But here, we're just taking the Spark submit operator, and then we'll assign it to whatever that outstream path would be, maybe make that an S3 bucket. And then here you can have a Snowflake operator that then takes that, transformed data set and uploads it into Snowflake. So you can use Spark to do your analytics transformations and Snowflake to store it, and maybe run Streamlit on top of Snowflake to actually provide you some visualizations for your Spark workload. So really, really simple stuff here, or not, not simple, but powerful stuff, where it's not super complicated to submit jobs to Spark using Airflow. But it does open up a lot of possibilities because now you're not just managing that Spark cluster in isolation. You have a fully separate tool that is able to manage, downstream and upstream. So then the other thing I wanted to show you was, hey, what if we also want to dynamically take an ingest? So what we'll do here is we'll add another task that's going to actually take a file in from some source and then submit that to the Spark submit operator. And so just to show you what that would look like, so let's say we want to take the result to some API endpoint using the simple HTTP operator. We can then push that via an XCOM into our Spark submit operator. So you would add an XCOM pull in the PySpark script and for your intake file, and then that would submit that data set into the Spark job, so you can do everything dynamically without kind of any manual intervention and have this, hey, process data from an API endpoint on a regular basis. So again, really useful kind of linkages here. And that's why I wanted to make this video, is just to show all the different things you can build around your Spark submit operator if you choose to go with this approach. So now I'm finally done on my VS Code side of things. So let's kick it over into Spark and see what that side of things looks like. So if we go into, and so sorry, I just showed you kind of, that's where I was getting the extension set is, I love Ask Astro. It's a great way to have it customize your DAGs or add new functionality to your DAGs or even create new ones. So highly recommend you go out and check it. Helps me eliminate a lot of the boilerplate code in these tutorials. And so here within your local host, we have our Spark submit job operator. Before we're actually going to be able to run it though, we'll need to create a Spark connection. And so since I'm just running a local Spark cluster, it's going to seem pretty simple, but wherever you're running your Spark cluster, here's how you'll set it. So Spark default, since we used that within our DAGs, then we're going to just Spark, it's not Smark, Smark.master, and then, whatever your port is, so 4503, and you don't actually need extras. It's very simple, but there's not really any but here. It's just a super simple way to connect. You just have a host, you have your extra port, and boom, you're ready to go. So I don't really know why it's so loose on the security side. I guess it's because you need to have the host, everything in the host string. But this is how you set up your Spark connection. So we can save that, and then we can go run our Spark tag. So here, really simple Spark job, just going into the graph, Spark submit operator. And again, this is just taking that simple Spark command or PySpark script that I wrote just to drop 2 columns from a data set, and then that's it. It's super simple, nothing really complicated about it. And so what I also wanted to do was kind of just leave you with some of the other ways that people can choose to use Spark as well. So if you want to have the flexibility to, maybe use a hook or any of those other ways, if you go Strong Registry, just find Spark. There are also the JDBC operators, JDBC hooks, Spark submit hooks if you want to use a binary. So you don't necessarily need to use PySpark, but that was the request I got in from my viewer. So that is what I created because you guys are everything to me. And also if you want to do Spark SQL, whatever, just make sure your Spark cluster is set up to handle it. And I just wanted to kind of show you some of these other options because there is a lot of optionality in how you can interact with Spark. So it's important that, that, hey, just because you didn't see JDBC or SQL doesn't mean you can't relatively easily take what you just learned here and apply it to your own situation. So if I miss anything, if there is anything else around Spark that you want me to cover, if I was wrong, let me know in the comments, and I will make another video following up. If there's anything else you want me to see, please let me know, and I will make it. And as always, like and subscribe because it helps me out immensely. And I love each and every one of you. So without further ado, that's all I have for you today. Data Guy out. Peace.